Oh, there we go. Hi, my name is Adhara. I started this channel around 4 months ago, and so far I've just been trying to figure out how I want to structure things. At this point, I feel like it's time to start doing a reoccurring series and start posting regularly on a schedule. Like a real YouTuber. I cannot commit to posting weekly, but I can commit to posting twice a month on Saturdays. In these videos, I will break down whatever topic has been on my mind. For years, I've been writing about all kinds of different topics in my free time. Religion, mental health, general health, cryptocurrency, politics, gender studies, human biology, astrological physics, aliens, evolution, and I am by no means an expert in anything. I don't claim to have all the answers. I also don't claim to be the only one that has ever come to these conclusions. I merely have a lot of thoughts, and I would like to share them with you all. I've decided this series will be the cleverly titled Adhara Talks. For the rest of my Saturday posts, I'm going to give myself a little bit more freedom, but I'm going to promise to put out content. It will be whatever I feel most proud of that week, whether it be a performance video or a special project, and I've also been inspired to start working on musical stuff lately, so keep an eye out for some of that. Last thing before I get into this video, since this is the beginning stages of my channel, I am open to your suggestions, your input, topic ideas, creative advice, anything. I invite it. Please tell me how to be better. A new camera is on the way. You can contact me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and I also have a TikTok now. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed to this channel and who supports me in any other projects that I do. It really, really means a lot to me, and I love you. This week on Adhara Talks, I'd like to talk about how the phrase agree to disagree is a logical fallacy in most cases. As far as I understand, the only things that we can truthfully agree to disagree on, where one party isn't just flat out wrong or stepping out of line, are things that cannot be proven or disproven. For instance, believing in aliens or God or the afterlife. These things are not even meant to be proven because that defeats the entire purpose of faith. However, you cannot disagree with who someone else fundamentally is. That's just called being hateful. When having conversations about people's personal identities or life experiences in general, religion, abilities, gender identity, sexual orientation, I hear things like this specifically. That's your point of view. You have your point of view and I have mine. Just like you don't want people to force their opinions on you, you don't get to force your opinions on other people. Which is basically just, let's agree to disagree and let's end this conversation. This is not only logically flawed, but oppressive in pretty much every case that isn't just debating aliens. This is also why people's heads feel like they're being butted, because some people are stepping out of line, and then they try to justify their actions by saying, agree to disagree. I feel like some people don't understand how opinions work, and something like opinionception is happening. If we have an opinion on someone else's opinion of themselves, then we're just setting ourselves up to get our feelings hurt when they don't match up. Other people's convictions are not an agree to disagree matter. It is someone is expressing themselves in their own space, which can be public, and everyone who sees loves them, supports them, and keeps anything meant to devalue another person's expression to themselves. We can have our own views about how we want to live our own lives, how we want to identify, what we believe in, and we can even have an opinion on where our souls are going to go when we pass on. However, when it comes to opinions on those exact same topics about any person on this planet around us, our presumption, either positive or negative, is ultimately worthless, except in life-threatening situations where some intervention is required and we have the authority to do so. Even still, if we believe in heaven, we don't get to judge, assume, or be invested on whether or not someone else is going there. No one is saying that we can't have our own thoughts and opinions about the world. However, we can only apply those feelings and the responsibility for having them to ourselves. When we feel pity, sorrow, or anger towards anyone else, we are the only ones experiencing that. The other person is not experiencing that. When it comes to our own children, of course, we teach them our ways because our ways have got us safely to adulthood. However, those children will grow up to be their own adults. Since we've now established that other people's identities and beliefs are not a matter of opinion, then there is some discrepancy on what people mean when they ask others to stop forcing their views upon others. When in most of these cases, people are just being themselves and existing within their own space, which can be public. Meanwhile, the people pointing the finger are the ones who are actually forcing their views by trying to demote and question the other person's. When commenting on another person's position and stating anything contradictory or negative about what a person expresses for themselves, the goal can only be to make them doubt their own convictions, which in turn seeks to change their viewpoint, which would classify as forcing views. If the contradictory position was stated publicly, then this also seeks to discourage this position from cultivating in anyone else, which would also classify as forcing views. So it sounds like what's actually being asked is for those who contradict their views to minimize and silence themselves. Our positions should never be stronger by tearing down another person's or pointing out how they're wrong. We should be able to prove how good and right our position is by showing the positive things that it provides for us. Having and sharing opinions are actually a great thing for this world. However, it's a fallacy to pretend that it's just my opinion when it comes to other people's life isn't just a way to judge or hate on others. When we say that we are uncomfortable in any way by what another person says or does about themselves, then this puts our uncomfortability on them like it's their responsibility to stop being themselves. That's just rude. Telling another person how to live their life based on our standards more than once, especially if they did not ask for it, means that we do not respect that person. We're letting everyone around know that we see that person or their position as weak and vulnerable to keep digging at, with the ultimate goal of them seeing things our way. This is not loving or supportive. We should have more respect for the people that we have deeper connections and conversations with. Agree to disagree just serves as a way to shut the conversation down. It's what people say when they couldn't communicate well enough to come to a better understanding. The more caring alternative is, I respect you and I understand your position. It is also possible to acknowledge that another person has a different position from us without harboring resentment for them or assuming that they're ignorant or a bad person. Additionally, opinions, even shared by large groups of people, can be wrong. There are people out there who believe that the world is flat, and they have conventions for it. But this can be proven wrong with science and human observation. So we're coming back around to this, but it's very difficult for me to get that out right now. The statement is partially true. One person has their view, and the other person has their view. However, when it comes to one person's expressions, the other person's opinion is intrusive to even state at all. Additionally, no one can truly force anyone to adopt their own lifestyle or their views. We all have our own brains to think for ourselves. Or maybe some people are just scared that they're that impressionable. Is agree to disagree a logical fallacy? Yes, except for when you're talking about something that cannot definitively be proven. People's identities can be proven simply by the fact that they exist, and they don't have to have approval. So any opinions contradicting their existence are wrong. Let people be. Allow people to express themselves without contradictory input. All right, I think I'm done. And that's all for today. Thanks for watching.
Glamour, elegance, beauty, grace, controversy.
All the lights, all of the lights, all of the lights. We just want light, please. Give me some light, please. Whoa. I'm magic. Does it not get tiring standing at all these gates and being so concerned about whether or not other people are going through them? Ta-da, I'm closer. I inhaled some water. Does it not get tiring being so concerned about what's in people's pants and how that determines the things that they get to do within their life? Who is actually the intrusive creep here, Karen? Oh, that one had wasabi on it. Oh.